Hello, it's Leslie Fightmaster, and welcome to day 5, 30 days of yoga for beginners. Let's come onto our backs, and the knees are bent. Close your eyes. A couple breaths here just to kind of settle in. You always want to turn the attention toward the breath. Also, take a moment to scan your body. Just starting to notice if there are any areas that feel tight, or you might have a little pain here or there. By the way, if you ever are having pain during a yoga pose, stop immediately. That is your body saying, I don't like this. Don't do this. So it's a good indication our bodies talk to us with sensations. So we're going to take the right ankle just past the left knee. We'll start with thread the needle today. I'm drawing the legs in any amount. You can also keep the left foot on the floor. So as you draw the legs in, you might feel more of a stretch in the right hip. Make sure you flex the right ankle the whole time. And if your right knee is drawn way in towards your chest, maybe you can move it a little bit forward, so that the ankle and the knee are about the same line if possible. And then we'll slowly release and switch. Left ankle past the right knee, flex that ankle, and bring the hands through, holding anywhere on the right leg, or keep the right foot on the floor instead. So it doesn't matter, I know I've said this several times already, but it really doesn't matter how deeply you get into a pose. It just matters that you feel a stretch. When you feel the stretch, then the fresh blood is moving in and the toxins are moving out. So that's all we need to worry about. And then, of course, with our breath practice, that's moving more oxygen through the blood, through the body, which is wonderful. Long breaths help to relieve stress. And one more breath here. Release. Rolling off to the right side. With your left hand, press up, let your head come up last. And rolling forward, right onto the hands and knees, and then hips to heels. Child's pose. We'll extend the arms forward, spread the fingers out nice and wide. And now we're going to try and turn those inner elbows up toward the ceiling. Press extra weight in the thumb and first finger. Tuck the toes, lift up and back. Keep the knees bent, down dog. Arms are shoulders distance apart, the feet hips width. And we're trying to wrap the outer upper arms, the triceps back toward the back of the mat, and the biceps, the inner upper arms, spin toward the front of the mat. At the same time, press into the thumb first finger side of the hand, and then let's come down and rest in child's pose. And another reminder, you can always rest in child's pose whenever you feel like you'd like to or need to or want to. And push the pause button. It's always there. Reaching the arms forward, shoulders distance apart, back to the knees, tuck the toes, lifting up and back again to down dog. And then start to stretch back, reaching the right heel down, keeping the left knee bent, and then switch. And switching back and forth a little bit here. Nice long breaths as you make these movements. And then both knees hips high. Now start to straighten the legs any amount. But remember, we want length in the spine, so keep the knees bent a little if you need to. Your hamstrings will stretch out eventually. Inhale, come forward into plank pose, anew on top of a push-up. Let's take the knees down. Or if you can, keep the knees lifted. Shoulders right above the wrists, and lift the backs of the knees up toward the ceiling. Exhale, lift the hips and back into downward facing dog. Breathing here. Keep the belly pulled in and the ribs drawing in. Firm the legs. Inhale again to plank, keeping the belly pulled in. Shoulders over wrists. Remember, knees can come down as needed. Tailbones reaching to the backs of the knees. My hips and shoulders are about in the same line. So I don't want my buns sticking up in the air. Knees can come down. Let's take them all down and then shift forward. Exhale, slowly lower all the way to your belly. Hands will be by the low ribs. Untuck the toes. Come onto the tops of the feet. Press all your toenails into the floor. Inhale, peel the chest into cobra. Pull the hands back toward the feet, widening the collarbones. Keep the belly pulled in, and then release. Press the pubic bone down slightly. Lift up again, so that'll help the tailbone to lengthen to heels. Inner thighs lift up. Cobra pose, Bhujangasana. Then exhale to the knees, tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. These are all the components of a sun salutation. It's called Surya Namaskara A. Look forward and step your feet to your hands. On the inhale, come halfway up, hands to shins or wherever on the legs. Exhale, fold. Hands can stay on the legs. You don't have to touch the floor. Inhale, press through the feet all the way up, long spine. Look up and lengthen. Exhale to Samastitihi. So remember our Tadasana pose. Feet are hips width or together. Outer edges of our feet are parallel. Firm the legs. Make sure the toes don't turn out. Normally, if you're walking, you will notice that your feet turn out if you look, and a lot of people do that. It's actually, it tightens the lower back, so that's why it's not good. If you have a block, I want you to hold it between your inner thighs. Give it a gentle squeeze. So when I say inner thighs spin back, that's what that means. When you're holding the block, that's the action. So tailbone's going to lengthen. We don't want the buns to stick out. We don't want the buns to come too far forward either. So we want it right in the middle. Think of the pelvis like a bowl. It's not tilted forward or back. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Remember, arms can stay wide because we don't want the ribs to pop out. Exhale and fold forward, hinging from the hips. Bend the knees as needed. Hands don't have to touch the floor. Inhale, halfway up. Hands to shins or above the knees. And exhale, fold forward again. Inhale with a long spine, sweep the arms out, around, and up, looking up if that's okay with your neck. Remember, ribs in, tailbone down. Exhale, Samastitihi, hands to heart. Let's put that block aside for now. Turn to the long side of the mat and step the feet out wide. Bring your arms out to a T. If you could grow really long fingers here, which would be weird, I know, you should be able to touch your ankles. So that's about how long your legs should be. Line up your front heel with your back arch. Inhale, arms to a T, and exhale, warrior two. So we did this yesterday. Virabhadrasana 2, remember, knee over ankle, drop the front hip down, lift the back inner thigh. Knees are pointed over the middle toes. Breathing here, lift the chest, but draw the shoulder blades down. Now we're going to straighten that leg. We're not going to do that one very much today. Today we're going to add triangle pose, Trikonasana. So you can keep your legs as wide as they were, or you can walk it in a little. Shift your hips back from the hip creases. You're going to just shift it back. Now lean, lean your torso over the leg. So shift the hips back, lean the torso over the leg. Try to keep the top ribs rolling open toward the ceiling. Reach the right arm out and then drop it down wherever. It might just come on the top of the leg. It might be the shin. It might be the floor. If you have a block, you might use a block. And then extend the left arm up. Reach the crown of the head forward. If it's okay with your neck, look up at the left hand. Your front leg is straight, but make sure not locking out the knee. So press into the base of the big toe of your right foot. Now look down to the floor, little bend in the knee. Come on up on your inhale. Then once again, arms to a T this time. Shift the hips back. Lean, lean, lean over the front thigh as much as you can. Take your time. Lean as far forward as you can. Then take your right hand wherever it reaches to. Doesn't have to be far, but what we really would like, imagine you have a wall behind you. The front hip is touching the wall, and the upper back would also be touching the wall. So your torso is above the thigh. Bottom ribs spin forward, top ribs spin back, and pull up on the kneecap. Firm the quadricep in both legs. Look down, inhale to come up. Feet to parallel. Other side, left leg turns all the way out from the hip. Back toes in slightly. Line up heel to arch. Make sure you're still lined up there. And then we'll take warrior two to begin. So as you bend that knee, be sure the knee is over the ankle and in line with the middle toes. Drop the front hip down, lift the back inner thigh. Arms are shoulder height. Gaze is over the front fingertips. Remember, gaze helps us with our concentration. And then straighten the leg. Setting up for triangle, you can keep your legs that wide, or if it feels unstable, walk it in a little closer. Heel to arch still. Take your hands to your hip creases. You'll shift your hips back and lean the torso over the leg. And then come up. Again, inhale, exhale, shift the hips back and lean the torso forward. You try to roll the top shoulder back. Inhale and come up. And then exhale, shift the hips back, lean forward. Lean over that leg and then reach the left arm out and then just drop it down wherever it reaches to. Stretch up through the right arm, shoulders are in line with each other. Keep pressing weight into the base of the big toe of your left foot. That will help keep the calf pressing toward the shin and the front hip moving under you. Keep the belly lifted, lengthening from the sternum, the chest, all the way to the navel. And then come on up on your inhale. And one more time. Shift the hips back. Start to lean over that front leg. Lean, lean, lean as far as you can. When you can't possibly lean any more, then take the left hand down wherever it reaches. Doesn't matter how far. Reach up through the right arm. Left bottom ribs come forward. Top ribs, right ribs spin back. Collarbones are widening. Keep the belly pulling in. And you're going to lengthen the torso. Remember, torso's right over the thighs. If you had a wall behind you, you could gently lean against. And look down, bend the knee, inhale, come up. Feet to parallel, step or hop your feet together. And then turn back to the front of the mat. Back to Tadasana, then inhale, reach up. As you exhale, we'll fold forward, hinging from the hips. Come as far forward as you can. Inhale, halfway up, fingertips on the floor or shins or legs. Exhale, step all the way back into down dog. Arms are shoulders distance, feet are hips width. And then we'll come onto the knees. I'm going to sit the hips down and lie down. Hug your knees into your chest. Remember, this one's Apanasana. Keep the right knee hugging in, extend the left leg out, and then take your right knee to the left side for a twist. Look over the right shoulder. And that that right leg might just come a little bit toward the left. And then back to center. Hug the left knee and extend the right leg out, and twist to the other side. Looking over the right shoulder. And then back to center. Draw the knees in. You're going to reach the tailbone toward the floor to lengthen out your spine here. And then we'll make our way into Shavasana. Knees can always be bent. Remember, relax, relax, relax. Let everything go. Release any ujjayi breathing, just natural breath. Be back in a moment. And our quotes today as you're resting, a little bit more about yoga. This is from another classic yoga text called the Bhagavad Gita. Yoga is evenness of mind. Yoga is skill in action. So stretch yourself out through the arms and the legs, and then roll to your right side, pausing a moment. And then press yourself up carefully to seated. Any seated position, bring the hands together. And hands to our forehead to remind us to have clear and loving thoughts. Hands to hearts, again reminding us to have clear and loving intentions. hands to the mouth to remind us to have clear and loving communications. Send out this wonderful energy to all beings everywhere. Namaste. Thank you for joining us today. And don't forget to subscribe. Push the like button, leave us a comment, share this with your friends. Please visit fightmasteryoga.com. You can join our mailing list, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.